Well, the hat is on to protect my winging long hair that, I have been suffering with for the past 3 months. But, psych! No longer have long hair. Got my hair cut just about an hour or two ago. What's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I hope I fixed Hikari Shiina enough to not look so huge like she did last week in the stream. I feel like, she still looks a little bit smaller than Moxley, but I couldn't find a happy medium, so we got that for now. Until I find, hopefully I actually will find, a PNG image of Hikaru Shida with the AEW Women's World title. But we are here live for my live review of AEW Dynamite. I was going to do this last night. I apologize, though, because what happened was, I watched the show live, but then it stormed. And I was waiting for the storm to settle down. And then when it was finally starting to settle down, I, out of the blue, just fell asleep, and yeah, I didn't even know I fell asleep. It was one of those nights where it's like I literally fell asleep. I never knew it happened. Because next thing I know, I wake up, it's 3:30 in the morning, I'm face first into my pillow, I still have my, my play clothes on, and my lights are on, my alarm's not set, I had not taken a shower yet. Don't worry, I took one when I woke up in the morning, but I'm just like, well then, so unfortunately that's led me to here. As I am now reviewing Dynamite now, I will watch NXT after this. If I don't randomly fall asleep again, I'll try to review NXT before I go to bed, because tomorrow's, we are not doing virtual trivia this week, so I will review SmackDown, and I will do my Backlash preview and predictions, even though I don't care about that show, but I'm still going to be watching it with my friend this Sunday, and also getting some Olive Garden takeout. So, that's the plan, and that's my story as to why this Dynamite review did not come yesterday when it should have. But of course, I've rambled enough. Time to talk about the Dynamite. I thought Dynamite was a good show this week. I didn't think it was quite as good as last week's, but I still thought it was good. It had some interesting things. That we had the in-ring debut of FTR in AEW. I thought that was very good. And of course, the promo afterwards. We had some run-ins with the Inner Circle and whatnot. A good main event for the TNT Championship between Cody Rhodes and Mark Quinn. What else happened? A couple good backstage promos as well, or video packages we got in here as well. So I'll say it was a good show. It wasn't the best show I've seen at Dynamite, but it was still a good show. I enjoyed it. And that's all I asked for. And also to see an organic audience enjoying the show and not cheer the faces, boo the heels, stand up, goddammit. Yeah, I'm referring to apparently how WWE treats their audience right now. And so, what's up, Tyler? Thank you for joining me live. Let's roll into the show and talk about it. Because again, I got NXT still to watch, and also because last night also while I was watching Dynamite, I tried on all those summer clothes. I have all those to put away as well. So I got that to do while I catch up with NXT. And if I have time while watching NXT, maybe I'll get back into playing Harry Potter, because I'm still practicing the next one before I actually play, because I literally struggled with the chess round very badly, and that's why I haven't gotten back to my Harry Potter Let's Plays. But anyways, let's get rolling, because I'm tired of talking about my life outside of YouTube. Let's actually talk about AEW Dynamite. So, we opened up the show, actually, with video packages, recapping what happened with Moxley and Cage last week, as we are just a couple weeks away from Fyter Fest, which, again, will be July 1st and July 8th on the Wednesday night show. And I'm pretty sure probably the second show is where Moxley and Cage will happen, being the main event. So we had a video package of that. And we also hype up commentary, and of course we introduced a fourth members 4 and 5 of the commentary team, Chris Jericho and his, let me see here, I don't quite have the exact same one, but if I can, 1 second here, if I can find it. I just unplugged my laptop. Good thing I always usually do have it plugged in, or else it would have died on the stream, and I would not have wanted that to happen. So Chris Jericho came out with his good pal, Floyd. Now, of course, this isn't exactly Floyd. This is not a metal bat. This is, Floyd might be a wooden bat. It's a brown bat. It's not a jet black colored bat as well. That, of course, can easily destroy drones like Vanguard 1, rest in peace, buddy. But he comes out, they're on commentary. The first match we have is FTR's Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood taking on Butcher and the Blades, Andy Williams, and Pepper Parks. Love this match. I mean, yeah, Butcher and the Blade aren't really the best tag team, but just seeing this just makes you think back to NXT Revival, pretty much. Again, obviously, showing that those psychology where they can easily just the simplest little mind games that, just makes them look just that difficult of a tag team. That's what I liked about the Revival. They don't have anything fancy schmancy, but they actually look like a tag team that with a very simple philosophy to outsmart people. And it's definitely some of the best psychology I've seen by tag team wrestling for sure in all the years I've watched wrestling. You've seen the ones that are fun, high flying, super kick parties, Uso Splash, New Day and their gimmick and whatnot. FTR, they just have that simple wrestling philosophy, and they have great psychology. They don't have to cheat every single freaking match like all heels do, but they have that simple psychology that they literally look tough to beat. And those are the heel teams I actually appreciate, and makes them that great. They would go on to have a very good match. FTR gets the victory. Afterwards, they're interviewed and says this is the pinnacle of tag team wrestling. And out comes the one team they obviously have been avoiding since they got here. Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. They say, we don't want to be rude, they just want to congratulate them. They want to thank them for helping them out of a jam a few weeks ago. And they don't want to be rude about it, but they failed to properly introduce themselves. So why not do it now? We're Matt and Nick, and they've been carrying tag team wrestling on their backs for the last decade and a half. They're the best tag team in AEW, they're the Young Bucks, and it's nice to meet you. Of course, they extend the hands, but then back in comes Butcher and the Blade. They blast them from behind, and FTR then attack the Butcher. Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc join in the madness as well. So does Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, and then the Elite buys and the FTR runs off the heels, and FTR get in the tag champions face. So yeah, setting the bar pretty high for FTR, as they definitely should be for sure, because we all know how great they can be. And not a freaking comedy act in whatever the heck the outfits were that Vince McMahon wanted them to wear on their way out the door. Probably because why? Because Vince wanted to embarrass them, because they didn't want to stay and do Vince's dirty work. They actually wanted to make tag team wrestling feel relevant. And guess what? I feel like they're already doing it in AEW. You already have two big matches right there to look forward to eventually. FTR and Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page, where for the tag titles or not. Or, of course, the one that we're all looking forward to the most, FTR and the Young Bucks. As I keep saying, save that match for All Out. Just save it for them. Save it for All Out. It's too big of a match to pass up on to not have a bigger show. At Fyter Fest, at a B show, no. All Out, though, yes. That show, September 5th, you bet we better be doing it. And if I'm able to, if I'm going to be home or whatnot, I'm probably going to do live reactions for that match, because we've all been waiting for that match for a long time. Very overdue, I shall say. Sorry, I literally got distracted for a second here. I'm just waiting for something to load my phone. Cool. Anyways, but that's that. So, great opening segment for sure, and great opening match and everything, but I definitely cannot wait till we finally see FTR and the Young Bucks. I like how they're kind of avoiding them pretty much. Because when they finally do clash, it's going to feel big and mega and impactful. WWE would not do this. They would just rub it in. They're going to fight. They'll brawl every single week. And you know what? If it happened, it's going to get old and boring. But nope, not this time. Because FTR, they're on their own now. We have a segment backstage with the Nightmare Collective, and Brandy Rhodes complains about Allie being given a team jacket, as apparently her and QT Marshall are now an item. Dustin Rhodes tells QT that she's not going to be at ringside for a tag title match because he needs QT's head in the game. We're getting a tag title match next week, apparently, between Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page and Nightmare Collective. We'll see how that goes. But with, all of a sudden, Allie is randomly QT Marshall's girlfriend or something. I don't know. Who knows? So the next match we have is Hikari Shiina, the AEW Women's World Champion, and Chris Statlander team up against Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford. Was just me, or was I a little bored for this match? Because I feel like we've gotten this how many times recently? I mean, we haven't gotten, the exact, people, because, this would be Dr. Britt Baker instead of Penelope Ford. But are we starting to really see this a little too much? Like, the whole idea of, this repetition, like, the whole idea of seeing these four go at it in tag matches, like, is that really all we can get out of the women's division right now? I don't know, it's just, again, the women's division is still growing on me. I mean, we've built up, Britt Baker, who's hurt, but of course we still are able to get good video packages out of her segments with her while she's hurt to definitely keep her credibility there. Hikari Shiina has been built up great. Rio hasn't been seen in months. But all we have now is just Chris Statlander, Penelope Ford, Nyla Rose, Hikari Shiina, like, that's it? I don't know. Like, again, I think you need to mix up a little bit more. I'm kind of getting a little tired of seeing the same tag match happen all the time. But, of course, well, then the heels, Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford win, with a bridging fisherman suplex from Ford onto Hikari Shiina. Then we get a video package of Darby Allin skateboarding with Tony Hawk, which was not too bad. We also get a video package on the update on Dr. Britt Baker, followed by a part recap, a part training montage, and a part call for respect, pretty much, as she continues to claim she's a role model. Miss you, Britt. Can't wait to have you back. We then have a 6-man tag match with Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent, and Orange Cassidy taking on Inner Circle's Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz. Not a bad match. Of course, Best Friends win as Orange Cassidy rolls up Ortiz. But as the match is happening, Jericho, who is on commentary with Floyd, hits the ring and attacks him. He hits Trent in the gut and Orange Cassidy in the face with the bat. He then gets a sack of oranges, and then we see that Floyd has busted Cassidy open. Jericho winds up with the sack, but then nails Orange in the head with literally with a sack of oranges. Chris Jericho nails Orange Cassidy with a sack of oranges, gets the microphone and says that Orange Cassidy has just been juiced. Man, I'm wondering if at Fyre Fest we're going to get a match with Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. I actually would like to see that. I don't think Cassidy's going to win, although I feel like they should try maybe give Cassidy that big win, because, I don't like, he had that match where it's like, he's a proven star pretty much against Pac back at Revolution, so maybe give like Cassidy like a roll-up victory or something like that on Jericho or something like that. We'll see though. So the Inner Circle squeezes oranges out on him, and then we go to break. We came back. Billy Gunn, oh, you didn't know, was interviewed when MJF rolls up, takes over saying, I've been undefeated for over a year, and I've been number 1 for 3 consecutive weeks. But Jungle Boy got a title shot first? The favoritism in this company is outrageous, and all he gets is dirty looks from the locker room, because the boys know that eventually you hit the ceiling, and he's that ceiling. He's a great white shark in a sea of minnows. But then Billy Gunn cuts him off and says, looking for a great white, and MJF says he's surprised he's not trying to get another one of his scumbag sons a job, which Billy Gunn grabs him, and then Wardlow, he's like, Wardlow, and Wardlow gets in the way. So, basically he's hiding behind the back, but great promo there. Probably get a match with MJF or Billy Gunn or something like that, who knows. Or if MJF's going to eventually get a title shot against Cody Rhodes, because, once again, they actually have a feud I'd like them to pick back up with. Maybe? Please? I don't know. But, we had that. We didn't have, Colt Cabana taking on Sammy Guevara, and Sammy Guevara won. I swear it's the first, even though Sammy Guevara has a higher record, and I keep feel like I am. This is the first time I really can remember Sammy Guevara getting a singles win on an episode of Dynamite. I mean, even though I forgot his record is around 500, I've definitely seen him lose more matches than win, it feels like. But I actually felt good to actually see Sammy get a victory. After the match, out comes Evil Uno and Stu Grayson to ringside. They are joined by Mr. Brody Lee, who helps Colt to his feet and he orders them to proceed to leave. So they're still teasing Colt Cabana joining the Dark Order. I know, again, I keep saying that I actually do like what they're doing with Brody Lee, but again, the Dark Order in general, I'm just like, it's just going in circles now to me. I don't get it. Like, they're going to keep trying to recruit someone, they're not going to join and whatnot. So I'm not digging it. I'm sorry, I'm losing interest, definitely, for sure. But then Sammy Guevara gets on the mic until he got immediately cut off by wonderful broken Matt Hardy. Sammy asks what his issue is, and Matt says, I don't have any issues. I actually respect Sammy because he's a young version of himself. A man with a stronger-than-death mindset. No matter how hard he gets hit, he gets back up. And the reality is he's the future of AEW. But here's some advice. Get away from Chris Jericho to reach your maximum potential. The hold of the ass. Guevara complains that Hardy tried to kill him twice, which is a fact. But that brings out the Matt Fax version of Matt Hardy, and Sammy runs him down as stupid and broken. Of course, Broken Matt then appears and says he's going to mash Guevara into Monfongo and eat him. Delete! 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 So, I mean, I know we just had a match between them on Dynamite recently. I guess we're going to get a match. Maybe we get a match with Guevara and Hardy at Fyter Fest? I don't know, but it seems like although we just recently had that match on episode of Dynamite in the main event, who knows? But I don't know. But yeah, so we had that, and then we had this vignette with Joey Janela, who talks about how he came here to be a star, but he has kind of faded out of sight after wrestling Moxley in the main event at Fyter Fest last year. He then runs into Sunny Kiss, who gives him a ride in her convertible, as we fade out to a to be continued. Kind of chilling, I thought this was. I don't know, kind of like how, Janela sitting in the bar, we're not saying that he's kind of really fallen off. And then just to kind of to ride off with Sunny Kiss right like that, it was just like, it's like maybe a depression sinking in or something. I don't know. It sparked my interest a little bit. I mean, Joey Janela has come since I've seen him in AEW. Has kind of been like he has a gimmick. He has that character as the bad boy, but he's not really standing out too much. He's kind of like in the same boat as Shawn Spears, but this could give him some type of a direction. We'll wait and see, though. But we had that. Colt Cabana was interviewed backstage. He ducks the interview and knocks on a door with a Dark Order sign posted on it. It opens, he goes in, and we get a close sign that reads Mr. Brody Lee. Whatever. We're informed that next week we'll have MJF taking on Billy Gunn, and then Jon Moxley shows up and runs into an interview. He mentions how he wants to be honest here. He's in a bad mood. He's hurt. He hurts all over, and he has little to no patience of time for people who run their mouths when they don't know what they're talking about. Such as Taz, who has been telling everyone that Brian Cage is going to beat him at Fyter Fest, and now he's going to pop Cage's head like a giant pimple and shut Taz up for good. What separates him from the pack is that he's one miserable SOB, and the mere idea that anyone thinks they can beat him pisses him off. It's what drives him and makes him train harder, hit harder, and more violent and less apologetic. With all due respect, Taz is one of the greatest trash talkers of all time. Before we continue on, though, Taz rolls up, shouting about Moxley's chirping, tells him to get himself and his head right because he's going to be put out of Fyter Fest. As when Brian Cage comes from behind and attacks Moxley, beats him down, throws him into a parking lot guardrail before ramming into someone's car. Moxley fights back, but it leads to a pipe through the window, but Cage recovers and spine busts him onto the hood. He sets up on a concrete, but Taz tells him to back down. Cage gives up the powerbomb clutch and instead throws Moxley into the rear window of the car. Nice beatdown for sure. I definitely am interested to see what this match can happen at Fyter Fest as well. And then we had our main event. Cody Rhodes versus Mark Quinn for the TNT Championship. Not a bad match. I still liked last week's match better, though, with Cody Rhodes and Jungle Boy. I thought that was better. I've always mentioned, though, how I don't like how championship opportunities are just handed out. Like, all you have to do is ask. But especially after, seeing this match, comparing it to, John Cena's US Open challenges, I realized, my honest opinion, it's okay for, a world championship shot, I feel definitely should be earned. Because that's you basically facing the best. I feel like these mid-card titles anymore, the goal behind them are more so to definitely be like the rising stars being built. And, making you look strong, but also, in return, sorry, I heard the phone ringing. In return, they're meant to definitely put over talent and make them look good. Because they have much more direction now, and, you have more possibilities to them. And, of course, it's what I like with what Cody Rhodes is doing with his TNT Championship. And he defeats Mark Quinn, shows a sign of respect to him, of course, after the match. But afterwards, out comes Jake Hager to attack. He has a high-angle swing spine buster, and he stands tall. But Private Party and Matt Hardy come out with chairs in hand, and they stagger Hager, and Hardy clotheslines Hager to the floor. Ortiz and Santana and Guevara even the odds we got a brawl. But then referees hit the ring and try to break it up. But a twist of fate on Guevara takes out the inner circle to regroup on the stage. But then Cody gets on the mic and says, Hager, you want a TNT title shot at Fyter Fest? You got it. And that's all he wrote. So, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good show. Again, I wouldn't say it was my favorite show of Dynamite, but I thought it was good. I gave it a B, though. Just a B. Almost a B+. I gave it a B because, again, the Dark Order stuff is definitely fading on me. And also, again, how many times am I going to see this tag match with the women also? But it was still good. Gave it a B. Live chat, Tyler says, worst match you saw. Worst match I saw. Live in person. I would say either Kurt Angle's retirement match at WrestleMania 35, or when I went to Extreme Rules in 2018 and I saw Carmella and Asuka in that SmackDown Women's title match in the Shark Cage. One of those two. What Seth Rollins match pissed you off? For him, it's him and Corbin at Stomping Grounds. I gotta agree with that. That, to me, because that was my worst match of the year last year. I might have to go with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt inside Hell in a Cell last year. But, of course, I give that match a little bit of leeway because they actually still fixed their mistake after that. And, of course, put the title on Bray and made Seth Rollins a heel. But, minus that, I maybe would have to go with that one. But at least they followed up properly like they did with that one. What WrestleMania match pissed you off? His is Lesnar and Reigns for 34. Oh, there's a lot of them. I mean, one still personally to me would have to be Triple H and Roman Reigns because that should have been a great match. And that was a dream match in my opinion. They screwed it up. But that's going to do it, guys, for this live review of Dynamite. Again, I gave it a B. I'll be back over here live in a little bit to do my live review of NXT after I watch it. So, guys, what are your thoughts on Dynamite? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure to always slap a like on the video, subscribe or comment to my channel, and follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. And with that, guys, I am checking out. I will see you all later. Have a great rest of your night, and peace out, everybody. Yeah, no, I will survive. There's no